Whether you're an account-based marketing pro or you're looking to get into it for the first time, I'm going to go through a key stage in account-based marketing, which is the math. It's how you define your campaign, how much money you're willing to spend to collect a client, and why account-based marketing is so effective at ensuring you adhere to a budget to collect those clients at the dollar amount you want. Let's dive in. All right, so your first and most important metric that you're going to want to know is your lifetime value of your customer, your LTV, right? This is the average profit that you earn per client over the lifetime of your client. So if you earn $1,000 in profit per year on a particular client and you keep them on average for 10 years, then your LTV is going to be $10,000, right? $10,000. Perfect. Now, a good benchmark for the next key number, which is your customer acquisition costs, also known as CAC, not the best term to speak out loud in a business meeting, but it usually causes some good laughs. Anyway, most companies are willing to spend about 10% of their profits to acquire a customer. Some are willing to spend a whole lot more, and some would love to spend a whole lot less, but 10% is usually a good metric for customer acquisition costs. So what we're saying is if you put a $1 into a money machine and you get $10 back out, you would do that all day long. So that is why 10% is usually a really safe number. So if your LTV is $10,000, you'd be more than happy to spend $1,000 to collect that customer. So we have customer acquisition cost at $1K, right? So LTV $10,000, customer acquisition cost at $1K, right? $1K. So let's break down what it would cost to generate that one sale, right? That one sale at $1,000. I'm going to use an example that we teach and that we're super familiar with, and that is account-based marketing leveraging personalized gifting with follow-ups from your sales team. So there's three main buckets whenever you're doing any type of account-based marketing, and I'll go into the three main cost buckets. The first is research, all right? Research. That is, you need to find the prospects, find your ideal prospects, find out who they are, get their information, and validate their information. Let's say it costs you about $300 to find 20 ideal prospects. That's about $20 per prospect in time and software to get those, or if you just hire someone to do it for you, that is an extremely high cost per prospect. Most companies would charge a fraction of that. So we're trying to keep this math super safe, right? And we're shooting for 20 ideal prospects. Then what we have is called the execution stage, right? So in our world of personalized gifting, we'll say that this costs about $500, right? So in this case, you need to purchase, personalize, and send out gifts to about 20 prospects. That would cost about $25 per prospect. That's more than enough money to spend on a per prospect basis. Most of the time we're spending less than $20 to engage with a prospect for the first time. So $25 is more than enough. If you have super high value prospects, you can definitely spend more money, but let's just keep it to this example for now. You'll see that is a very safe number to go for. And then the last is follow-up. And let's say this costs, to round out, our $1,000, if my math is correct. We'll put this at $200. Basically, there's going to be a cost for you to continue to follow up with the prospects and get them into a sales situation. I usually like to budget around $200, in that $15 per prospect to say, right, how much time is it going to take me to follow up with a phone call to get them on a sales call and potentially close them? So we like to have some budget in there for those three key buckets. Now, you may have more costs in some of these areas. You may have less, depending upon how relationship-based sales your sales cycle is, or how transactional it is. But these are some pretty simple buckets in order to take into consideration the cost to acquire a customer. So again, research, execution, follow-up. Those are the three marketing-related costs in association with bringing on a customer. One specific caveat I have is that LTV number, that $10,000 should not include the cost that you would pay a sales rep to close the business. So for instance, so when I said earlier, $10,000 is the profit for that customer over the lifetime of that customer, that should mean that that's after you pay your sales reps to close the deals, right? This is the profit that goes right into an owner's pocket, single proprietary owned business, or it's that bottom line number that is in a publicly traded company. This is the number that excludes all the costs. So basically saying, hey, this is the number that we are allowed to pure profit that we can use to collect more customers and reinvest in our business. So sales direct costs are taken out. Now that we're good there, let's move on to the next part of this. So now we have 20 ideal prospects. We need to work through the math of how we take a prospect from just being a prospect all the way down into a closed sale. I will share with you some of the conversion numbers that we see on our end from personalized gifting, and plenty of account-based marketing campaigns should strive for these types of conversion rates as well. First of all, you want to go for reply rate, right? We're reaching out to these people. What percentage of them are we even going to get to engage with us? We shoot for about a 40% reply rate at minimum, right? 40% reply at minimum. We see campaigns that shoot up into the 60% range. We see plenty down at the 20% range. Depends upon the type of prospect you're reaching out to, what you send them, and how well your follow-up is, but we'll get to that. And then from those replies, we see about a 50% booking rate, right? And then from there, we have about a 25% close rate. This is what we're shooting for. So out of those 20 prospects, if 40% reply, we're looking at 8 total replies. We're looking at 4 total bookings, and we're looking at 1 total close, right? So in this instance, we are looking at that. We spend $1,000 for that one customer, and that is excellent, right? Now, obviously, if you can convert at a higher rate, you could do a whole lot better, but this is a key step in this process. Understanding your conversion rates. You may say, hey, 25% seems pretty high to close. One of the nice parts about account-based marketing is that you are pre-selecting the people that you are going after, and you are also doing something, especially in the world of personalized gifting that we teach, you are engendering an insane amount of goodwill. We find that our close rates are much higher in this style of outreach than they would be in a normal sales situation or a normal cold outreach situation where you're just getting people cold. This is one where these are some really easy sales calls to start some great conversations. So the close rate tends to be a little bit higher. Some people prefer to leave the close rate at around 15 to 20%. That's fine. We think 25 is very, very realistic. Now, the key to this is all of this is actually just over the first 6 months. So if you reach out to 20 prospects in 1 month, these are the types of conversion results you can expect over the next 6 months. Now, what's awesome is there's something that we call the tailwind, and that is the following 6 months. And usually what you can expect is that you will close at least 1 more deal over the next 6 months, increasing this close number to 2 from this initial 20, right? So usually what we say is this number you want to add on a 6-month trail. So your number is more like 1.25 for the first 6 months, or what you would look at it as 1.25 closes for your initial 20 prospects, right? And that's part of what that follow-up system is. Long-term follow-up has a massive effect on overall close rate. You never know if a lead you reach out to today is actually in need of the services that you offer, but there's a good chance that they're going to need them at some point throughout 12 months or 24 months. We do not let these people go. We continue to follow up, especially if they replied to us positively originally. We'll get tons of replies that say, hey, this was really cool. Thank you so much for sending this out. No significant need right now, but if I need anything in the future, I'll let you know. That is perfect. We love those types of replies because the chances that they need the things that we are offering at some point in the future is really high. Remember, these are people that we pre-selected. We know or have a very high degree of confidence that they purchase the types of solutions that we offer. They may already purchase them from a competitor of yours, right? These are people that when your number gets called, they're going to remember you, but we need to stay in front of. So the best part about this is your costs are going to remain the same every single month, right? Every month, you're going to spend $1,000 on 20 prospects, right? And you know your conversion rates at your LTV. So you know that $1,000 that you spend over the next 12 months is going to yield $12,500 in profit, right? So this is your account-based marketing money machine. Understand your lifetime value, understand your customer acquisition costs, understand your conversion rates, and you can have your own money machine that every time you put $1 in, you get $12.50 out. That is the beauty of account-based marketing, right? This is the best part about it is once you understand that you have an audience that you can reach out to that has a really good need for what you offer, you can set a budget for what it's going to take to pull that customer in. You stick to that budget and you continue to follow up. You will see consistent results over and over and over again over time. So number one, understand your lifetime value. Number two, understand what you're willing to spend to acquire that customer, and then understand how you're going to break up that cost in order to get that customer on board with your conversion rates in a manner that speaks to the money you need to spend to bring them in. That is account-based marketing math. It is amazing how easy it is once you break it down into those simple, easy to see buckets. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below or reach out to us. If you have any questions about account-based marketing, about the MAC, LTV, customer acquisition costs, or want to take a look at our personalized gifting platform, head over to outspire.ai, reach out to us. We can walk you through all this. I'm Jeremy Sporn. I'll happily talk to you myself and show you exactly how this stuff works. I think this stuff is super fun. We can show you our personalized gifting platform, which will allow you to send gifts to ideal prospects at scale, find those prospects, validate their information, fulfill on all the gifts, automatically follow up, and keep you organized and all the follow-up you need in order to hit these metrics and bring in clients at your ideal customer acquisition costs so you can hit your account-based marketing goals. As always, wish you nothing but success and have a great day.